Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for this?
Morning.
What she said.
Scary. We're back at the threads.
It's been a while.
The threads.
Threads. Check out my cool threads, yo. I don't understand this store. I mean, I do, but it's just I can't do anything with anything in here. So it's just like, oh, look at all these nice sewing things or craft things. I'm just like, that's cool. But for me, it's just like, I could buy these things and give them to someone else and they could make something nice for me, but I couldn't make something for myself. Like, I don't know what half the stuff is. I know what this stuff is. It's for knitting, right? Those are needles.
Knitting.
I'm a smart. Oh, hey, would you look at that? So last night, while trying to fall asleep, I'd been reading some stuff about sleep paralysis, which I've had before, and I definitely tried to go to sleep in a certain way that would make me wake up with sleep paralysis, which is really stupid. But it's just because, I don't know, I really like being scared, and like one of the scariest experiences that has ever happened to me was when I had sleep paralysis like 2 years ago. And it's just crazy stuff. So yeah, it's kind of dumb that I tried to do that last night / this morning, right? That was dumb.
It's not fun.
I know it's not fun, but it was, I don't know, I like being scared.
Even if you want to get scared.
I know it's a dumb way to scare yourself, but I don't know, it was just interesting. I don't know have I talked about my sleep paralysis experience in the vlogs? I don't think so. Basically, what I had happen was I was house sitting at my friend Lee's house with my other friend Nick, and he went away to work, and I ended up falling asleep on the couch, and then that's when I fell asleep on the couch for a while, and I woke up, and when I woke up, I had sleep paralysis. Now, what this does is it creates hallucinations, essentially, and you can't move, and you have hallucinations. Now, what happened to me was when I woke up was I heard someone coming inside, and I thought it was my friend Nick coming home from school, home from work. And then I just heard him like running at me, like my back was to the whole room, and I was like facing like in on the couch. So there was just this running, and it stopped right behind me. And then my brain kind of realized it's not Nick. It's like this evil presence. And then, so it was there for a while, and once again, I can't move. I can't turn over and see what it is. And then it just turns around, runs away, and runs upstairs, and like just down the hallway. And then I can slowly start moving, so I do, and I ended up turning over and sitting up. And then that's where it just goes. So then, like, once I can start moving and everything, and I'm like fully awake, and I no longer have the paralysis, I'm still scared, obviously, because there's no transition. Well, like, there's no like realization that like that was a dream, because it's not a dream. It's you're awake, and your brain is just firing off constantly, so that you have this. Well, yeah, it's a hallucination. And so I was so scared, like I turned on all the lights, and I just sat there waiting for Nick to come home, which wasn't for like another like 2-3 hours, and it was just probably one of the most horrifying experiences of my life. And I know you've had sleep paralysis too, or you have it actually quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, it's Not fun at
Not
all.
fun. I know. Well, yeah. Well, once again, like I like my horror stuff, and it happened to me once. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad that it's just the hallucination. There's no defined moment where you can say this is not real. This didn't actually happen. It happens in your brain, and your brain makes it real, and everything is real, and it's so intensely terrifying when it happens.
Yeah, cause you know how like when you're in a dream, you're like, oh, this is all real, and then you wake up and you're like, wait, how did I think that was real? I had like peanut butter hands or something, you know, like it's obviously like when you're in the dream, you know it's real, and then when you wake up, you're like, yeah, obviously that was just a dream. That's not what this is. This isn't like a dream. This is the opposite of a dream. This is your brain creating things in the real world. This is a hallucination, a completely, I don't know, like a completely realistic hallucination that your brain is just creating for you because it's scared. So it's just it's so frightening because yeah, there's none of that afterwards. You're like, oh yeah, it was just a dream. It was just a hallucination. It's just like the only reason that we know this is because I've read stuff about it and I realized like, okay, it's not real because there's no way there could have been a presence behind me. Like that's not something that happens, even though it 100% felt real, and just talking about it registers as real, and like even though I know all of this, it still scares me so much because I know that 100% to me that was real.
So, a recent one that I had where Sean was here in the same house. I was sleeping in my own bed and he was sleeping in the spare bed, which is just right beside. And once I entered into this hallucination stage and I'm paralyzed, I can't move, I hear and then feel something that's slowly coming down the hall towards my room, and then it comes into my room, and there's nothing I can do, and you just sit there in your brain and you get scared, and then it makes everything more scary because it's just doing this to you. I don't know, it hates you, stupid brains.
And then you ended up scaring me.
Yeah, so eventually when you start to be able to move again and you unclench your jaw, I went to the room where Sean was and crawled in his bed with him because I was just terrified. And I told him, there's something in my room, because in my head there is something in my room. And it just freaked him out.
Yeah, it freaked me out so much because, like, yeah, because she just came in and did you say there's something in my room, or there's something evil?
There's something in my room, and I think you asked like more.
I asked like
clarify.
what? I said what? What's in your room? And then she's just like something evil or something like that. So obviously I'm freaked out now, and she's like breathing really heavily because she's scared. She's like, and just kind of lying on me like this. So like her head's like here. So I'm like kind of turned over, looking out the doorway because I'm creeped out, obviously. And she's just, and my brain, of course, being my brain, is just like freaked out and starts jumping to these weird conclusions. And then my brain, at the worst possible time, just decides to go, what if this isn't Lydia? What if this thing pretending to be Lydia is just tricking me? And right then, Lydia stops, like her, because she's the whole time. And as soon as my brain's like, what if it isn't Lydia? It's just like nothing. And so I'm just like slowly turn to look at her, and she just kind of slowly looks up at me. But the thing is, what you were doing,
you were turning it to look out at the doorway, and I realized I was breathing heavily and I was making so much noise, and it looked like you were trying to listen. And so I stopped so you could hear, because I was worried that you were actually hearing something, so it was moving from my room to come into this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea that I was freaking you out so much.
Because she just slowly looks up at me, and I'm like, Lydia, what are you doing? It was so creepy. So yeah, like, sleep paralysis is such a weird, like, phenomenon. The thing that it is that your brain, like, the way it's wired, it's just, you're asleep, like, you're kind of half asleep, the way that your body is. Like, your body and your brain is still kind of, like, in a REM cycle, but you're awake. So, like, that's why you have the paralysis, because obviously when you're dreaming, your body goes into a paralysis so that you're not acting out your dreams. And the thing is that because your brain is firing off so quickly, and because you can't move, every single small little stimuli awakens, like, the animal instinct in you to, you know, be cautious, to be afraid of everything. So it creates this, like, hallucination. Like, if there's just a random, like, creak over there, your brain automatically is like, there's a dangerous creature over there. And then it generates this hallucination. And that's why with sleep paralysis, most people experience a presence, an evil presence in the room. And some other people experience what's called an incubus or a succubus, which is a presence that is, like, sitting on your chest or strangling you and making it hard for you to breathe. That's what the brain produces as a hallucination, because another thing with when you're sleeping and when you're in REM sleep is that your breathing is different. Like, you can't breathe shallow, you can't breathe deeply. You just breathe, like, shallow, quick bursts. So if you're awake and you can't control how you're breathing, because obviously we can control how we breathe. If I want to take a deep breath, I can. Obviously. But when you're in the sleep paralysis, you can't control your breathing. So the brain just kind of generates this creature, this presence that is making it hard for you to breathe, even though it's just, that's just what your body is doing. So yeah, it's just, sleep paralysis is creepy, man.
It's not fun at all.
Not fun? Yeah. So I guess maybe a little dumb that I kind of wanted that, but I don't know. It was such a weird and frightening experience. And yeah, I don't know.
You've had it just the one time.
I've only had it once. That's the thing. You've had it so many times.
Yeah, you've had it just the one time, and it affected you, but you haven't experienced it a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot more scary when it happens continuously, I think.
I think for me it's more just an interest, because I understand it. Like, and I know at the time, like, when it's happening, I know I'll be absolutely terrified. But I still find it interesting, because just, I don't know, I guess from like almost like a scientific, experimental approach, it's just, I don't know, it's a cool concept that interests me. But yeah, I probably shouldn't do that.
If you want to, you can. I don't know how
honestly,
you try.
You can't. You really can't. The only thing you can really do is have a bad sleep schedule, have a bad diet. So I already got both of those covered. Be stressed out, and it's supposed to happen more if you sleep on your back. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to force something like that.
You just have to be very unlucky.
Yeah, like you.
Yay.
Who has it all the time, apparently. Or not all the time, but you have it
at least once a month. I'll have one.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more than that in a month, but...
Yeah, because that's the thing. Some people might only experience it once some people will never experience it. Some people will have it, like, once in their lifetime. Other people have it, yeah, like, once a month, once a week, like, every other night. Some people have these things. And that's the thing, is my experience only lasted about 2 minutes, maybe. They can last up to, like, an hour, like, where you're there and you're paralyzed and you can't move, and that would be horrifying.
I think 15 minutes to half an hour is the longest that it's happened to me.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
So yeah, you're more prone to them.
So with my experiences, it's in the beginning, I can't remember the first one I had, but it felt like so long ago. But I was told that it was a demonic presence, and I already felt that way because it's an evil presence, and I am a religious, grew up religious, and that's just kind of how I took the experience. And when it would stop was when I would pray and ask for protection during the night because I was afraid of it happening again. So when I did that on those nights, I would be fine. And then if I forgot or I fell asleep too fast, those are the nights where it would happen. So subconsciously, because I didn't ask, and you know what you do, that's triggered it, probably, and so that might be a reason that I have recurring ones. That was a reason I know that or at least I believe that I had it recurring. And yeah, just that's.
Well, yeah. So that's like your approach to it, and like it's all interchangeable as to like what you define as the cause for something that happening. Because the thing is, what you're saying is that it happened to you because you didn't pray. So
in the beginning, because sometimes now it happens even though I already have.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just so scared and stressed that it happens anyway.
Yeah.
But I know the early stages, I was fine every time. I would remember.
Yeah.
And as soon as I forgot, it was set that I would definitely have one.
Yeah. So like from the religious approach, it was you're visited by a demonic presence because you didn't pray.
Because I had no protection.
Yes. So that's the religious approach, and then the scientific approach could be that subconsciously you're stressed out because you didn't pray. So that's what's causing it. And so it's just crazy to see.
Interchangeable. Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
And in my cases, to get out of the paralysis, because I can't speak because you're paralyzed, but my jaw is clenched shut and I can't do anything. But I would sing Christian songs, and I would say Jesus' name, and it would like slowly work to unclench my jaw, and then I would be able to speak, and speaking would have a more powerful effect, and then I would be able to move eventually. So that's also a way that my bringing up affects how it is.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, it's just that's your mindset. That's how your brain is wired.
It's just that's how it works. And if I was a completely different person, but I still had these, it would work the same way, because I would slowly be able to move, and eventually I would move. But in mine, it doesn't work until I start to do something. I have to think it first, and then I can speak, and then I can move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just interesting.
Exactly. It's interesting looking at the two different sides of the coin, essentially, of like approaching something like this from two different aspects, two different lights, two different sort of explanations from it, and you can take that with almost anything. It's just something like this is very much it's very easy to take it from two different lights because of the subject matter, because it's an evil presence.
And it's almost always something evil in the hallucination because you're scared already, because you're paralyzed.
Yeah, exactly.
Very intense.
We're getting a little in depth here.
We're just I like it. I like this discussion because it's very, very real to me, and it's very relevant.
We need Scott for this.
I know.
This is a Scott topic. This is the kind of thing that we would talk about with Scott at 3:00 in the morning, and we'd be like, "Oh, it's 6 now."
Yeah. Well, we can always talk again on Friday.
It's really cool stuff.
It is. It's cool in a way.
Yeah, no, like I just like
the topic
kind
of conversation.
Analyzing it is interesting, is what I mean. Like, the experience is debatable whether it's cool or not. Obviously,
it's is not cool at all. The experience just is not good. Bit not good.
Yeah, but just the whole topic and the whole analysis of it is just interesting.
Yeah, because I never heard of it being called something. I never heard of it being a hallucination until like now.
Yeah, it's really interesting just because like the scientific term for it is sleep paralysis. But in a lot of cultures, like a lot of cultures, it's the word for it roughly translates to something very like supernatural, like ghosts sitting on chest or demon holding you down, or the witch on your back, stuff like that. Like, which is, I don't know, it's really cool. So that kind of almost I don't know, symbolizes what we're talking about, of like the mixture of the scientific and the religious in a way.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. All right, so we haven't really been up to much today. I mean, like, we had our big long conversation, which we only filmed like a little bit of it. We talked about that for a while. Lydia's being a dinosaur. Well, I'm trying to vlog, because that's what she does. And she's gonna freak out Arthur. Yeah, we just haven't really been doing much. I mean, me and Lydia were just kind of sitting around on YouTube watching a bunch of like old short films and stuff. What else did we do? Watched a movie. But now, I think we're just gonna go for a run, right? Are we going for stop being a dinosaur? Stop being a dinosaur. Well, I'm gonna go for a run, and Dinosaur Lydia might come for a run too. You wanna go for a run? Okay. Alright, we just got done with our run. It was kind of rainy out, so that wasn't fun, but whatever. But now we are tired, and we should sleep. I'll take that as a yes. Alright. Good night. Bunch of weirdos. I was talking about someone else.